I'm glad you're here. Today's dinner is cheesesteaks. I'm gonna really heat it up. I'm gonna start with we're gonna do onion and green pepper. I personally only like onion on mine, but others like onion and green pepper, so we're gonna do both. I don't know that I need all of this onion. I'm only making a couple today, so I have plenty of room on our griddle, no worries there. Okay. Yeah, I do a little more. I probably don't need a whole onion, it's probably a bit much. So we'll get that started. Move it a little bit. Sorry about that. So we get the onion and green pepper started, and I'm going to throw some salt and pepper on both of them. It's a little windy out here today. It's a spring day, it's a little chilly, a little windy. But don't worry, we've got our wind guards on. Obviously, you can do cheesesteak in a pan in your house if you want. I think the best spot to do it, right, is on the flat top. And our flat top of choice is the Blackstone Griddle. So we'll get these started. We'll just start a little bit, and then we'll throw the meat on. Over there, no big deal. No allergies here, so it's not really a big deal if the green peppers mixed. I kind of like to fry up that onion a little bit. Those green peppers, so we're going to throw a little more oil on top as they get going. Doesn't just love all the space. And also, so you don't have to mix them too much. And you don't even have to start your veggies early if you don't want to, just a preference. Green peppers take a little bit longer than onions, depending on the size. So I could have even started my green peppers a little bit before the onions if you really want to get your timing spot on. But you know what? This is dinner. This is family dinner. Alright, in a moment here I'll go ahead and throw the meat on. So one of the things with cheesesteaks, you want to use a ribeye because it's nice and fatty. I like to cut it nice and thin. You can cut it with a knife all you want. I like to use my food processor with a slicing blade, kind of like this one. It's the 4mm slicing blade that goes on the food processor. Do that. Actually, I'll move those a little bit to the side because I like to get I kind of tend to get going a little bit. So we'll just move these over a little bit, and they'll just keep cooking over there. There. And throw the meat down. Anyway, so about, I don't know, half frozen. Want the meat to be a little frozen and hard. I go ahead and cut it in sizes that my food processor, it'll fit into my food processor, and then I use a slicing blade, the 4mm slicing blade, and it will slice it right up for me. Just a preference, or just a choice, because it works really fast. You don't have to. You can just slice it right up, in case you didn't know. Although I feel like a commercial right now, and I'm really not. Blackstone does have a knife that works pretty good for that. So I remember to put my oil down, I remember. And you'll notice I did not put salt and pepper on it, on my meat. I'll tell you what I do that's a little bit different. We seem to like it in our group, so we do it. Is after I've sliced the meat, I will go ahead and drizzle it with olive oil and then throw salt and pepper on. So not necessarily a marinade, more of a drizzle. I'll put this over here. Ooh, the wind's hitting good now. Just kind of separating my slices a little bit. Looking good. Anyway, so drizzle it with olive oil, or maybe you could say toss it with olive oil and salt and pepper. Other folks like to cook it for a while, and then right before you put your cheese on, throw your salt and pepper on. Totally up to you. Whatever you like. Don't feel afraid though to salt and pepper. I think we make a lot of cheesesteak, and I would say the only mistake that I think I've honestly really made, where it just didn't taste as good as I wanted it to, was it really didn't have enough salt. It's a nice piece of red meat here, real juicy. So don't be afraid of it. Throwing some salt on there. All right, just separating it out. And then something else I like to do that other people may or may not, toast my bun a little bit. These buns aren't as soft as they should be. A nice soft bun is really important, and these aren't as soft as I'd like them to be, but they'll be okay for dinner tonight. All right. These green peppers going. It's really smelling good out here, except for the wind keeps taking the nice smell away. Disappointing. Onions look just fine, ready to go. Good over here with my onions. I spread all my stuff out. There's plenty of room for other stuff, or you could even, I could do all the veggies first and then move them to one side and make a lot more cheesesteaks if you wanted to. Oh, already looks good. I want to get a little, I do anyway. I don't know how you like yours. We want to get a little crisp on this meat, but I won't do it all the way, right? Because we'll let it cook a little longer with the cheese on top. Come on, I want this piece to go here. Or not. Such a simple thing. It really wasn't vital, it's just what I wanted to do. Alright, let's leave it alone a minute. And you'll notice because it's so thin, and you can also even use, do you like yours even thinner? Maybe the 2mm blade. So you'll notice because it's so thin, it does cook pretty quickly. Alright, I think I'm going to make my piles. Here's the part that I always overdo, so maybe don't take my tips on this part. This is the part that I always tend to overfill my sandwich. Let's see how I do this time. Alright, so I want to make my piles. You can clearly see that pile bigger than the other pile. This one over here is actually going to be for my daughter. Too much information, but she's gluten-free, and I'll do hers separately here when we're done. We got our nice little pile. Sort of. We're going to throw some onions on it. Oh, loving the onions. And we're going to both get some onions. But only one of them is going to get some green peppers. So we got a little onion green pepper going on. Unless you're flicking things around like me, then maybe the other one's going to get a few green peppers, but not a big deal. At least not at home. If you're trying to keep them away from someone that doesn't like them or is allergic to them, then yeah, that'd probably be important. But tricky to do that. Alright. Throw a couple pieces of cheese on there. And I'm actually going to, and you don't need to, but because I've got the room, I'm going to dome this up for a minute. I got to take my bread off anyway. Since I'm only making 2 today, and I've got the room, I'm going to dome it up for a minute. I'll let that cheese melt a little faster. Let's take the other bread off as well. And you really want to, there, take that. A little bit of water, steam there up. And again, don't have to. If you're doing a bunch of them, you probably watched other people's videos. They don't do this. I'm just being quick, getting that cheese. And I also like to mix my cheese in my steak. I like to make sure that cheese is in there. We're in it to win it. So I'm going to get that nice and melty. Not quite where I want it yet. Pretty good. Look at that. Woo! Looking good right there. Now a lot of folks will go ahead and just put their bun on top right now. Put your bun over it, slice it up. But I want my cheese in it a little more. So I'm just gonna go ahead and chop that in there. Instead of being on top, I want it fully incorporated in said cheesesteak. Can't have a bite without cheese. Probably could have melted her a little bit longer because it's provolone. Just a little bit. That's alright. And the wind is probably a little chilly out, but look at that. That is some goo happening there. Some nice, greasy, meaty, cheesy, oniony, green peppery. It's looking good. Alright. I think we'll go ahead and stick our bread on. See if I got it about the right size. I think my bread is about the size of my spatula. And now a nice soft bread is ideal. My bread is a little drier than I'd like, so when you're doing it, you make sure your bread is nice and soft. And it'll be perfect. So now, let's just go ahead and try to make our sandwich even though our bread came apart a little bit, because it's, you know, look at that. Not bad. Not too bad right there. And let's do the other one. See, if your bread's nice and soft and sticks together, then you got her. But look at that. Not bad. Let's see if you can see that in there. That is a good looking cheesesteak right there. Alright. I like I said, I'm going to make my daughters here, but we'll call this a wrap. That is a cheesesteak, folks. At least it's a cheesesteak the way we like it. I hope it gave you a couple ideas. And they're quick and easy. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.